Hey, good morning, everyone. Boo pop. Welcome to Power Class with A Balanced Life with Fit Nikki. I am Nikki. So it's been a while since I've taught an actual what I consider power class. But I got kind of inspired yesterday. So for those of you joining me live, thank you so much for spending your Saturday, a little bit of your Saturday morning with me. If you're popping in a later time to watch it, thanks for watching. Please give me feedback. That's how I grow and learn. Let me know if you like class, things that you would like a little bit different, and so on. I do have a suggested playlist. It's called Cantaloupe Yoga, and I think I put the date 05/01. I made it yesterday, and that I was at Dearborn's yesterday, and they were playing Cantaloupe from Us Three, and it just stuck in my head. So I came home, I made a playlist, and then that playlist just inspired this class. So welcome. We are going to get started today in a nice tall seat, and if you have props, you can use books, blocks, water bottles, whatever you need, something sturdy for support. But also towards the end, when we cool it down and stretch it out, if you want to use a blanket or a pillow or a bolster or something like that, mainly underneath the lower back and the shoulders, that's totally cool too. So please take class at your own pace. Take modifications if you need them. This is your class. I'm just here to guide you through, but listen to your body and do what you're needing today. I know every day our bodies are different, and there's been a lot of stress, a lot of things going on that our bodies are acting and feeling differently than normal, and that's totally fine. Take this at your pace. Do what you need to do to take care of your body today. And make sure you're drinking plenty of water as well. So we're gonna find a nice tall seat, and that can be legs crossed, it can be legs long, whatever is comfortable for you. We're just gonna sit up nice and tall. Shoulders shrug back and relax. And you can close your eyes or soften your gaze, whatever feels good for you. Just focus in on your breath here for a few moments. As you inhale, breathe in through the nose. I forgot what this was. Exhale, start to relax your muscles. Imagine them softening a little bit. Imagine any tightness, any tension, stress that you're holding on to. Imagine just kind of floating away with that exhale. Big inhale and fill to the bottom of your lungs. Fill your belly with that breath. And exhale to soften and let go. You're going to take 3 more rounds of breath here. Nice big inhale. Nice big exhale. 2 more rounds of breath. One more breath. Feel free to keep your eyes closed or gaze soft. We're going to find our way into tabletop. So bringing your wrists under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. Spine is nice and long. Press into the tops of your feet and lengthen out through the tailbone and the crown of the head. As you inhale, belly drops, head and hip rise. And as you exhale, down into your mat, arch your back up to the sky. Nice little cat-cow, about 3 more breaths here. And feel free to take any extra moves if you like to sink the hips back or sway them side to side. Whatever feels good for you here. One of my favorite little flows. On your next inhale, come back into nice tabletop, nice neutral spine here. And we're going to find our way into down dog. So everyone's down dog is different. If you need to walk your hands forward a little bit, please do. Spread your fingers, root down into your knuckles. Take that pressure out of your wrist. Tuck your toes, press your hips up and back for that down dog. And feel free to keep your knees a little bent here. So pedal it out, move the hips side to side, whatever's feeling good for you here. Take about 3 rounds of breath. If you have some tight hamstrings, tight glutes, tight lower back, that bend to your knees is going to take a little pressure off and it's going to make it feel a little bit better. It should. So go ahead and put a nice bend there if you need that. On your next inhale, find some stillness to your dog. Take a full breath, relaxing your neck and your jaw. Trying to press your chest a little bit closer towards your thighs. And then inhale, glance up towards your hands. Exhale, step your feet a little bit wider than your hips towards your hands. You can grab opposite elbows or let your hands hang down here and take about 3 breaths. So try and get your chest a little closer to your thighs. Let your neck and jaw relax. And imagine that your head is a nice big kettlebell. And it's just pulling down on your spine a little bit, creating length, creating space. On your next inhale, release your hands if you have them. And start to root down into your feet and gently roll up 1 vertebra at a time. Let your head be the last thing to come up. And I forgot to tell you, if you are listening to the playlist and it's under Fit Nikki, F-I-T-N-I-K-K-I 2 on Spotify, you could have started that after our breath work. Heel toe your feet underneath your hips, shoulders shrug back a few times, just open up your chest a bit here. And we're going to get a nice neutral position, heels under hips, shoulders shrug back. Reach your fingers up to the sky. Lace your fingers, leave just your pointers up. Lean over to the right side and push into your right hip. Or push into your left hip. Take a couple breaths here. And come on back up through center and switch sides. And come on back up to center. And we're going to take a little twist. So you can bend your elbows or keep your arms long. You're going to twist it to the right. Come back up to center. Twist it to the left. Come back up to center. Exhale, bring your hands down to your heart. Take a breath here to shrug your shoulders back. Pull in those lower abs, engage your lower abs to bring your tailbone long. Inhale, reach up to the sky. Soften your knees and fold forward. Halfway lift to a nice long spine. So fingers can come to your shins, your blocks, the ground. Exhale to lower. Inhale, halfway lift. Excuse me. Exhale to lower. We're going to take 1 more here. Nice half lift, nice long spine. And lower. Root down through your feet, rise up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale to reach up. Soften your knees and fold forward. Halfway lift. Nice long spine. And fold. And inhale to rise up. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to go 1 more time there, just really warming up the body. Inhale, reach for the sky while I put my little headband on. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift. Nice long spine. And fold. Inhale to rise all the way up. Reach up for the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. 1 moment here. All right, there we go. All right, so we're going to start with the classic sun salutation. I like to do these in class and build from it. And inhale, reach up for the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Right foot steps back, lift your chest into a lunge, and then left foot steps back to down dog. Shift forward into your plank. Hug your elbows in, and plank can be toes or knees. Hug your elbows lower down to your belly. Untuck your toes, shrug your shoulders back, lift your heart for cobra. Press into your thighs and the tops of your feet. And then tuck your toes, press back to down dog. Right foot steps forward into a lunge, lift your heart. Left foot steps up to meet it. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale to reach up. Exhale to fold forward. Left foot steps back, lift your heart. Right foot back to down dog. Shift into your plank, toes or knees. Hug the elbows in and lower to your belly. Shrug your shoulders back, lift your heart, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, press back to down dog. Left foot steps forward into a lunge, right foot steps up to meet it. Inhale to rise up. Exhale, hands to heart. We're just going to add some movement to that sun salutation. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, soften your knees and fold. Right foot steps back. Plant your right hand. Left fingers reach up to the sky. Take a moment here in this twist. So feel free to lower your back knee for support. You can take this hand to your hip or wrap it around your lower back if you'd like a little extra support today. On your next inhale, reach up to the sky. Exhale, let that hand float down. Step back to down dog. Shift forward into your plank, toes or knees. Hug your elbows, lower to your belly. Shrug your shoulders back, lift your heart. Press into your hips, your thighs, and your feet. Press back to down dog. Right foot steps forward into that lunge, and left foot steps up to meet it. Inhale, rise up, reach for the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale to reach. Exhale to fold. Left foot steps back to lunge. Plant your left hand. Right fingers reach up for that twist. And again, feel free to wrap your arm around your back. Lower your knee. Maybe take your arm to your ear. Try something a little bit different. As you exhale, let your hand float down to frame your foot. Step back to down dog. Shift into plank, toes or knees. Hug your elbows in, lower to belly. Shrug the shoulders back and lift your heart. Press back to down dog. Left foot steps forward into your lunge and right foot meets it. Rise up. Maybe take a little back bend here and hands to heart. Let's add a little more movement. Reach up to the sky and fold. So we're going to switch up that cobra. Right foot steps back, plant your right hand, left fingers reach for the sky. Then let that hand float down. Step back to down dog. Shift into your plank, lower to your belly. Take your arms by your side. Shrug your shoulders back, lift your heart for locust or half locust, maybe legs for full locust. Exhale to lower and bring your hands under your shoulders. Tuck your toes, press back to down dog. Right foot steps forward to left. Left foot or to front, left foot meets it. Rise up, hands to heart. So a little bit different heart opener there. Reach for the sky and fold. Left foot steps back, plant your left hand, right fingers reach up. Then let that hand float down, step back to down dog. Shift into your plank. Hug your elbows, lower to your belly, arms by your side. Shrug your shoulders back, half or full locust, and lower. Hands come under your shoulders, tuck your toes back to down dog. Left foot steps forward to lunge, right foot steps up to meet it. Inhale to rise up, maybe take that little back bend. Hands to heart. We're going to add a little more movement here. Reach up to the sky and fold it forward. Right foot steps back, plant your hand, left fingers to the sky to twist. Let that hand float down, step back to down dog. Shift into plank, lower down, arms by your side, shrug the shoulders back, lift your heart. Lower down, press back to down dog. Right foot steps forward. Shift your weight into that right foot. Rise up and float your left knee. Let that foot set down. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale to fold. Left foot steps back, plant your hand, right fingers to reach for the sky. Let that hand float down, step back to down dog. Shift into plank, lower to your belly. Half or full locust. Lower down, hands under your shoulders, press back to down dog. Left foot steps forward, shift your weight into that foot, rise up and float your right knee. Exhale, set that foot down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to fold. Right foot steps back, plant your hand, left fingers to the sky. Let that hand float down, and then you're going to root down into your left foot, rise up into a lunge. So just take a moment to find this shape. We're just going to keep building on this flow for a little bit. Pull back on that left hip. Fingers are nice and strong. As you exhale, you're going to take your hands to your heart, maybe bend that right knee. Come into a little pulse and reach up. Let's put those together. Exhale, fold forward, plant the right hand. Inhale, left fingers to the sky. Exhale, left hand comes down, and inhale to rise into your lunge. Exhale, hands to heart, maybe add that pulse, and reach up. Let's try that one more time. Fold it forward, plant the right hand. Left fingers reach up. Let that hand float down, rise into your lunge. Hands to heart, maybe add that pulse, and rise up. Exhale to fold forward. Plant your hands, step back to your down dog. Shift into your plank, toes or knees, lower to your belly. Arms by your side, half or full locust. Exhale to lower, hands under your shoulders. Press back to down dog. Right foot steps forward. Shift your weight into that foot. Float your left knee as you rise up. Exhale, set that foot down. How are we doing? Inhale to reach. Exhale to fold. Left foot steps back. Plant your hand, right fingers to the sky. Let that hand float down, shift your weight, or press into the right foot as you rise into your lunge on this side. Take a moment, relax the shoulders. Good, hands to heart, and maybe bend that left knee for a pulse. Come on back up, but keep the right knee bent. Fold forward, plant the left hand, right fingers reach up to twist. Let that hand float down and rise up. Hands to heart, maybe add that little pulse. Now let's do that one more time. Fold it forward, plant your hand, right fingers reach up, and then bring it down. Root into that right foot to rise. Hands to heart, maybe add that pulse, and come on up. Fold forward, plant your hands, step back to your plank. Hug your elbows to lower, and you can always just stay in down dog if you need a rest here. Half or full locust, and lower. Hands under your shoulders, back to down dog. Left foot steps forward, shift your weight into that foot. Rise up, float the right knee, and set that foot down. And feel free to take that out and just step your foot forward if balance is not happening today. We're going to add a little more. Inhale though, reach up. Exhale to fold. Right foot steps back. Plant your right hand, left fingers reach up. Let that hand float down, rise into your lunge. One pulse, hand to heart, maybe pulse that back leg. And come on up. And fold forward, plant your hands, step back to down, or a down dog. Shift into your plank, lower to your belly. Half or full locust. Lower down, hands come under your heart, press back to down dog. Right foot steps forward, rise up into your lunge, and then you're going to turn in your left heel, open up into wide leg stance. Good, and then you're going to turn up the right heel and turn into a lunge on the left foot. Shift your weight into that left foot, float your right knee. Let that foot come down. Inhale to reach up. and fold forward. Left foot steps back, plant your hand, reach your right fingers up, let it float down, shift your weight, rise into your lunge. Hands to heart, maybe pulse that back knee, back up to your lunge, turn in the left heel. Oh, I got a little ahead of myself. And fold forward, plant your hands, step back to plank, shift forward, hug your elbows and lower down, arms by your side, half or full locust, and lower. Hands come under your shoulders, tuck your toes, press back to down dog. Left foot steps forward, rise into your lunge, turn in the right heel, wide-legged stance, turn up the left heel, hands to heart, shift your weight into that right leg, float your left knee, let that foot come down. So we're going to add just a little bit more to it. Inhale to reach up. I'll start on this side. Exhale to fold. Right foot steps back, plant your right hand, left fingers reach to the sky. Let that hand come down, rise up into your lunge. One pulse, hands to heart, and come back up. Fold forward, plant your hands, step back to down dog. Shift into plank, lower down, arms by your side, half or full locust, and come on down. Plant your hands, step back to down dog. Right foot steps forward, rise into your lunge. We're going to add that pulse here, hands to heart, back into lunge, open up wide-legged stance, and then turn up the right heel, come into a lunge with the left leg. So from here, you've got a couple options. You can either hinge forward, sweep the arms back in your lunge, or you can try and float that right leg for warrior three. Come back to your lunge. Inhale, shift your weight into the left leg, float the right knee. Set that foot down. And reach up. And it's okay if you wobble, if you fall. I do it all the time. Left foot steps back, plant your left hand, right fingers up. Let that hand float down, step back to down dog. Shift into plank and lower to your belly. Half or, oh. Come on back up to that lunge. Let's start over on that left side. Inhale to reach. Exhale to fold. Left foot steps back, plant that left hand. Right fingers reach up. Let that hand come down, rise into your lunge. Add that little pulse. Come on back up, fold forward, plant your hands. Now step back to down dog. Shift into plank, lower down. Arms by your side, half or full locust. Bring it down, press back to down dog. Left foot steps forward. Rise up into your lunge. One pulse here, hands to heart. Come on up, turn in the right heel. Wide-legged stance. Turn up the left heel, come into your lunge. So either hinge forward or maybe float that left leg. Come back into your lunge, shift your weight, float the left knee, and set it down. Woo, let's go again each side. Inhale to reach. Exhale to fold. Right foot steps back, plant your right hand, left fingers reach up. Let that hand float down, rise into your lunge. Hands to heart, pulse that back leg. Rise up, fold forward, plant your hands back to down dog. Shift into your plank, lower to your belly, half or full locust. Lower back down, hands under shoulders, back to down dog. Right foot steps forward, rise into your lunge. Hands to heart, one pulse. Inhale to rise, turn in the left heel, open up wide-legged stance. Turn up the right heel, come into that lunge. You can sweep the arms back, maybe float that right knee, that right leg. Foot comes back into your lunge. Shift your weight, float the right knee and set that foot down. Inhale to reach up, maybe take that little back bend. Exhale to fold. Left foot steps back, plant your hand, right fingers reach up. Then float down and rise up into your lunge. Hands to heart, pulse it down, reach it up, fold forward, plant your hands, step back to down dog. Shift into your plank, lower to your belly, half or full locust. Come on back down, hands under your shoulders, press back to down dog. Left foot steps forward, rise up into your lunge, add one pulse here. Turn in the right heel, wide-legged stance. Turn up the left heel to lunge, add one pulse. And hinge forward, maybe float that left leg, warrior three. Let the foot come back down, shift your weight, float the left leg, and bring it down. Woo, let's take a big break here. Exhale, hands to heart. Grab a drink if you need it. I have another short flow. Then we're going to do a little bit of balance, core and back, and then cool it down. Hopefully you guys get a chance to get out and enjoy this beautiful sunshine today. I almost took our practice outside, but I decided against it today, but maybe next week we'll do a class outside. So we're going to come into that nice mountain position. You're going to take a big breath in. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale to reach up. Soften the knees and fold forward. Step your right foot back. Rise up into your lunge. And then bring your hands to your heart. Pause here. We're going to take a prayer twist. So we've been doing some twists. Should be nice and warm here. So you're going to turn to the left and hinge forward with a long spine. So I'm going to bring my elbow inside of my thigh. Yours might come outside of your thigh. Thing with a twist is you want it to come from your waist, not your hips or your rib cage. So if you're here and you feel your hands coming up to your shoulder, to your left shoulder, go ahead and lessen that twist. So again, you're twisting from here. Feel free to lower the right knee for some support. If you notice that your knee is falling into the right side, take your elbow inside of your thigh so your ankle and your knee and your hip are in a nice line. On your next inhale, rise back up to your lunge. Exhale, fold forward, plant your hands. Step back to your down dog. Shift into your plank. Hug your elbows to lower down. And just keep it at cobra here. Shrug the shoulders back. Lift your heart, your rib cage, press into your thighs, your hips, and your toes. And lower down. Tuck your toes, press back to down dog. Good. Right foot steps forward. And then you're going to walk yourself to the left, coming into a wide-legged forward fold. Please feel free to grab a block if you need it. Take a breath here, maybe go a little side to side. Maybe reach for your toes or your ankles. Maybe soften your knees if this is really intense on your hamstrings. You're going to take one more breath wherever you're at. And then we're just going to do a couple twists. So you're going to take your right hand underneath your right shoulder to your block or the ground. Left fingers can come to your hip or up to the sky. And as you exhale, let that left hand come down right under your shoulder. Right fingers reach up. Just a couple breaths here. Right hand comes down under your shoulder, left fingers reach up. Left hand comes down, right fingers reach up. Let that right hand come down. Walk yourself to the right, back into your lunge. Step that left foot up to meet right. Rise up, hands to heart. Inhale to reach. Exhale to fold. Left foot steps back. Right foot steps back to down dog. Shift into your plank, lower down to your belly. Shrug the shoulders back for cobra. Lower back down, tuck your toes, back to down dog. Left foot steps forward. And this time you're going to walk yourself around to the right side. You're going to bring your fingertips to the floor or the block, lift halfway to a flat back, and then fold it down. So you're just going to do that a few times. Fingertips to the block or the ground, lift to that flat back. Your gaze is down towards the ground so that your neck stays in line with the spine, and bring it down. And you're going to take one more just like that. Nice half lift. And lower. Walk your hands over towards your left foot, coming back into that lunge. Step your right foot up to meet left. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands to heart. Fantastic. So we're just going to do, I call it workshopping. We're just going to work just a little bit on Warrior 3. So there's different schools of thought. For me, in Warrior 3, I've been taught, and how I do it and try to focus is hip bones face down to the ground, toes are dialed down to the ground. So it can be a little more intense on the standing legs, hamstring. And sometimes it's a little more difficult to balance. A lot of times when we're in Warrior 3, that hip, like the right hip, will come up a little bit to help with balance. So we're going to try and do it the other way if you haven't before. Grab your props, set them down in front of you. We're going to start by shifting our weight into the left leg, all four corners of that left leg. Hands to your heart, shrug your shoulders back, float that right knee. For me, I always have to push down on that hip a little bit. My hips like to move quite a bit. Flex the right foot. You're going to hinge forward. Let's take our time with this. Soften the left knee. Press that right foot back and bring your hands to your blocks. If you don't have blocks, and say you have a table or chair or a windowsill, you can take your hands to there as well. You're going to dial your toes and your, see how my hip comes up here to make it easier? You're going to dial your toes and your hip bone down towards the ground. So my hips are square to the ground, my spine is long. Shoulders and hips are in line with each other. Soften the left knee if you need to. And you can stay right here, maybe take one hand up, maybe take the other, maybe reach your arms forward or arms back. Maybe you're needing this extra support today, and that's okay. Take one more big breath, press through the heel, lengthen through the spine. And on your next inhale, rise back up, floating that right knee one more time. And let that foot float down. Root down into all four corners of the right foot. And let's try this side. And know that you might wobble, you might fall. You might have one side that's different than the other, and that's pretty normal. Shoulders shrug back. Hinge forward. Nice long spine. Hands to the blocks, push into your heel, dial the toes and hip bones down. Soften the right knee. I feel that more right here, and you may as well. Keep the spine long and take a couple breaths, taking any variations. If you want to lift one hand and the other, try and keep the hip bones and the toes dialed down. Maybe reach forward, maybe reach it back. One more breath wherever you're at. And gently rise up, float that left knee. Set your foot down, shake out your legs. Woo. We're going to come down. We're going to do a minute of core and a minute of back. And then we'll cool it down and stretch it out. So I apologize if my hair looks crazy. I've got that quarantine hair. I'm in way past overdue for a trim, growing out my pixie. So it's starting to get a little bit crazy here. So we're going to start by swinging our legs around, coming down to our back. And you're going to take your body into a little X shape. So a few options here. You can bring opposite arm to leg and then switch. For more intensity, arms and legs up at the same time and bring it down. For most intensity, when you come down, hover and don't quite lower all the way. The clock starts in 3, 2, and go. Maybe you want to mix it up and do opposite all together. Make sure you're exhaling as you come up, inhaling to lower. Take your time with it. If this is not your jam and you're not a fan of this, you can take a little rest. You can take another ab work if that's what you like. This is one of my favorites. You're about halfway there. If you're doing crunches, I try to avoid crunches in class because I feel like people grab the back of their head and start pulling on their head to come up, which strains your neck and doesn't really work the abs. So if you are doing crunches, take your hands lightly to your ears and imagine a space between your chin and your chest so you're not pulling your neck down. And we've got 3, 2, and 1. Bring your knees into your chest, rock and roll long on your spine a few times. Bring yourself up to seated and either roll through or swing your legs around to tabletop. And for here, you have a couple options as well. So you can do bird dogs, opposite arm, opposite leg, coming back into that tabletop. If you want, you can add knee to elbow, reach it out and bring it down. For more of a challenge, maybe try a nice wide-legged plank. And so take your feet wide for this so that you have a little bit wider base to balance. And then from here, you can do opposite arm, opposite leg, or maybe even try knee to elbow, reach it out and down. And that's going to start in 1 and go. So take your time with this, especially if you're in that plank. Bring your hand and foot down, shift your weight before you lift the other ones. It's going to help you with your balance. You want as little movement as possible here. You are about halfway there. Good morning, Jay. We have a little visitor today, JJ. He's just checking out the fresh air everywhere. He is a big fan of fresh air. Guys, you got about 15 seconds here. You're doing amazing. Don't want to kick him. Let's just finish it off with a couple more here. Sorry, buddy. Lower your knees, push your hips back, take a child's pose. Grab a drink if you need it. We're going to cool it down and stretch it out here. So go ahead, take about 1 more breath. Rise back up into your tabletop. Tuck your toes, press back to down dog. Down dog. So you want to keep your shoulders and your hips square as you lift your right leg. Bend your knee, open up your hip. Then bring your knee towards your wrist, coming into half pigeon. Let your shin settle. Left knee settles. Lengthen out that left leg. So feel free to grab a block, put it under your hip if you need it. This is not comfortable. You can do recline pigeon, which I'll show you in a moment. If you're here in half pigeon, hips and shoulders are square. So if you need to move that knee a bit, go ahead. Lengthen through the spine and keep it long as you hinge forward. And you may come right here, maybe you come all the way down. If you're on your elbows, go ahead and prop your forehead up on a block so you keep your neck long. A lot of times you'll let your head hang here, but you want that spine to stay long, and that includes your neck. So if you're here, put that block under your forehead to keep your spine long. Recline pigeon for an alternative. Come onto your back, right ankle in front of your thigh. Bring your legs in towards your chest. Try and keep your shoulders flat on the mat. Wherever you're at, you're going to take 1 more round of breath. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Tuck your back toe. Press back to down dog. Take about 2 breaths if you want to pedal it out, or if you like to lift that leg and draw some little circles, whatever feels good here. Bring stillness to your dog. Lift your left leg, bend your knee, open up your hip, but keep your shoulders and your hips square to the front. Then bring that leg forward, finding half pigeon on this side, knowing it may look and feel different. So if you need a support under your hip, go ahead. Make sure your hips and your shoulders are square to the front and lengthen through the spine. You can stay here or bring it forward, and again, if you are here, feel free to put a block under your forehead so your neck stays long. We're going to take about 3 rounds of breath here. So as we slow down the practice, generally thoughts start to pop into our head. And that's okay, that's normal. It's very difficult to completely clear your mind. So any thoughts that pop into your head, you can go ahead and acknowledge them, but let them float away, just like clouds out in the sky. Then start to bring your focus and your mind back to your breath and your body. On your next inhale, bring your hands under your shoulders. Tuck your back toe. Press back to down dog and take a couple breaths. Good. Come up to the balls of your feet. Bring your knees down to the mat. And then come to your sit bones here with your legs nice and long. Feet are flexed, but feel free to soften your knees. Reach up to the sky. And you want to keep that, again, that long spine. I know I keep emphasizing that. But you can even grab your blocks here. So a lot of times when we do this seated forward fold, we come forward and then our back starts to curl to let our head and our neck relax. But you want to keep that spine long, so you're probably not going to come as far towards your thighs. So find that long spine, and I like to take my blocks and walk myself forward like this. Focus maybe on your toes. Soften the knees if the hamstrings or glutes or low back are really tight. We're going to take 2 more rounds of breath here. And gently rise up. Bend your knees. Bring the bottoms of your feet together, coming into butterfly or bound angle. And then find those sit bones again. And you can have just the outer edges of your feet touching if that works better for you. Find that long spine, and then you're going to hinge forward here. You may not come very far, and that's okay, but you want to kind of, I like to imagine that my inner hips here are just starting to open up a little bit more, starting to relax, starting to kind of melt open. And look at this. For those who remember me with a pixie cut, if you've taken with me before, look how crazy long this hair is getting. I even have a rubber band. Sometimes I wear a ponytail even. How crazy is that? So I was planning to grow out my hair anyway, but definitely this quarantine time has made it a necessity. And let's rise on up. Good. Bring your knees up, plant the bottoms of your feet on the mat, and make sure you have props by your side. About midway on your mat, and bring yourself down onto your back. You're going to bring your right knee into your chest, give it a little hug, and then you're going to take that leg, cross it over your left, take your arms out by your side, let your legs fall over to the left side. Feel free to grab a block, put it under your legs for support, arms come out, maybe you gaze over your right shoulder. So if this is not comfortable at all, you can unwrap your legs and just take another style of twist, another variation, lots of different twists you can do here. I'm going to take about 2 more breaths here. Excuse my sniffles, I have allergies like I'm sure pretty much everyone else. And I'm not super compliant. I open windows and spend a lot of time outside, so this time of year I'm always sniffling and sneezing a little bit more. On your next inhale, come back up through center. Bring that right knee into your chest and then your left. Set that left foot down, that right foot down. Wrap your left over it and take that twist on this side. And again, grab a block for support if you need it. We're going to take a few breaths here. And guys, I'm starting a free wellness group. It's a 2-week group where we will help each other be accountable, be a support system, have free yoga and fitness classes. And it starts on Monday. If you are interested, please let me know. Message me and let me know. On your next inhale, come back up through center, left knee and then right into your chest for a little hug. Let your feet come down to the mat. Lift your hips, place your prop, and this could be a bolster or a pillow or a rolled up blanket under your hips. Lift your shoulders, shrug them back, settle back down. So feel free to stay here for supported bridge. Legs can come up for waterfall, which is a nice pose before bedtime with legs up the wall. Or my favorite is to take my legs long, letting my knees, my hips, my toes open up. We're going to spin 4 rounds of breath here. And for me, I like to focus on how the block feels on my low back. So just think about that sensation there, how it feels for you. For me, it feels a little bit of pressure to start to release and relax. My hips and my low back a little bit more. Let's take 2 more rounds of breath here. So if you're not there already, bend your knees and plant your feet. Lift your hips, slide that block out from underneath, lower your hips. Take about 2 or 3 breaths here for any moves that you'd like. Maybe rock a little side to side or draw some little circles with your knees. We're going to find our way into that final resting pose, that Shavasana. So that might be arms and legs long. Maybe take a bound angle and put props underneath your thighs or knees for support. Maybe that block under your low back felt amazing and you want to come back to that. Or you can have a seat or anything that feels good. So I'm going to leave you to your Shavasana, to that final resting pose. And feel free to stay here as long as you like, but I do suggest that you turn off the video before you fully settle in so it doesn't switch to another video and kind of pull you out of it. So please take as long as you need. Have a wonderful Saturday, a wonderful weekend. Friends, from my heart to yours, peace, love, and kindness.